Hi, my name is Emily. 3 years ago, I left everything behind, and in that time, I traveled and lived in 15 different countries. I recently spent 2 months in Sri Lanka, but this isn't about me, so let me show you how to travel this amazing country. Here is Sri Lanka. It's a beautiful island with tons to do. If you're an adventure seeker like myself, you'll love all the different activities Sri Lanka has to offer. When you land in Sri Lanka, although your plane ticket may say Colombo, you'll actually be in a smaller fisherman town called Negombo. So my first advice to you is to get to your accommodation, unpack, and head straight to the beach. I know traveling can be overwhelming, but Negombo is definitely a good place to recharge. After Negombo, you're going to want to hop on a train and make your way to Punawala. There is one reason to head there, and that is to see the elephants. If you check in before 1, you have plenty of time to see the elephants bathe at 2. Something about seeing a herd of elephants play in a river was definitely a highlight on my trip. Staying at Punawala is on the pricier side, so I only suggest staying the one night and heading out in the morning. Also, if you love watching elephants, I'll link my full Punawala video below, and you can check it out. Next, grab the train to Kandy. Kandy is located in the mountains, and it's the second most populated city. I won't lie, I'm not a huge fan of cities, but while I was there, I enjoyed walking through the botanical gardens. This is how I decided to stay cool. I checked out the Temple of the Tooth, and my favorite thing was watching the traditional Sri Lankan dance. Now, this is a show put on for tourists, but it was so well done. Like, look at this, it's super impressive. Now, there are a few ways to go about the next stop on your trip. What we did was grab the bus up to Dambulla. And a tip for when you're taking the bus in Sri Lanka is to always get on at the main bus station. This way, you're first to get on and have a seat. If not, you might be stuck standing for a few hours, and the buses do get jam-packed, but holding on is quite the workout if that's what you're looking for. From Dambulla, you can rent a scooter or hire a tuk-tuk to take you to Sigiriya and Palanua. Sigiriya is a massive fortress and palace and is now one of the top attractions in Sri Lanka, and for a good reason, because this place is very unique. I'll link my video below if you want to see more. Palanua is an ancient city where you can learn more about the Sri Lankan history, see ruins, massive rock sculptures of Buddha, and tons of monkeys. You could do these places individually or pair them up into one day. Dambulla has one main attraction to check out. The Cave Temple is one of the 8 UNESCO heritage sites on the island of Sri Lanka. You can expect to see paintings drawn all over the ceilings and many statues in the caves. After Dambulla, head back to Kandy. Transfer onto the train heading towards Bandula. Get off at Hatton, grab a bus or a tuk-tuk to Nataliana. I know I just name dropped a few places, but hopefully you were able to keep up. You're going to want to go to bed as early as possible because the next day you'll be hiking up to the top of Adams Peak for sunrise. Yes, this means heading out at 2:30 a.m. There are over 5,000 steps to the top, so why put yourself through such an intense climb? Well, to experience a true insight to what a pilgrimage is, and the most spectacular sunrise. That was intense. Climb up to the top of Adams Peak, and we're almost down, and I'm sweating so much, but it was worth it for the views. A few things to take note of. Bring a sweater, it gets cold at the top. Avoid holidays and weekends, it gets busy. And check out the weather forecast. When you're able to walk again, get back to the train and head to Ella. Kandy to Ella is known to be the most scenic train ride in the world. This journey alone has increased Sri Lankan's tourism drastically. The rules are way more relaxed there. You can hang your feet off the train, take in all the views of what has to be tea-field heaven. The fun doesn't stop there. Ella was my favorite place in Sri Lanka, and I have made 2 videos on this hip little town that seems to be booming so fast. I love the atmosphere in Ella, but my favorite things were what surrounded it. To learn more, check out my Ella guide. From here, I would suggest to head either to Yala or Udawalawi for a jeep safari. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go, but I regretted it, so I wanted to let you know so you don't make the same mistake. At this point, you're probably dying to see the ocean again. So pack your bag and make your way to Tangul. Tangul was the least touristy beach we visited in Sri Lanka. For the most part, we had the beach entirely to ourselves. Well, not entirely. Moving along the coast to Marissa. This is the place you want to be if you're looking for some nightlife or sipping cocktails on the beach. It is 6 a.m. We're in Marissa and we're going to go whale watching. Did you really think I would just send you to relax on a beach all day? If you haven't already gone whale watching before, this is a great place to do so because it's relatively more affordable than most countries. Here is some footage of a blue whale diving in slow motion. Sri Lanka is known for its world-class surfing, and this is a common trend you'll be seeing along the southern coast. If you're thinking of learning to surf, Sri Lanka isn't shy of surf schools or beginner waves. If you're an advanced surfer, then I'm sure you already know more than me. From Marissa, we took a tuk-tuk to Unawatuna Beach, but you could also take a bus or a train. This is a beach town with tons of cafes and shops. I could easily spend a week here eating and relaxing. Of course, there is surfing and other water activities to keep you busy. While we stayed at Unawatuna Beach, we hopped on a tuk-tuk and went to see Gull Fort. It's about a 20-minute drive away, so you could easily make it into a day trip. This fort was first built in 1588. The fort has been turned into a touristy hotspot with boutique shops, trendy restaurants, and hotels. If you want to stay in the fort, you're looking to spend at least $50 per room in the busy season. If you're on a smaller budget, you could just visit for the afternoon like we did. This is a great place to buy some souvenirs, but once again, you're looking at a higher price tag. Moving on to your next beach destination is Hikkaduwa. Hikkaduwa is one of the most popular beaches in Sri Lanka, and for that reason, we didn't necessarily love it as much as we loved the other beaches, but we went there to see the turtles. February is the best month to spot giant turtles in the morning, but you could definitely find them all year round in this spot. The next beach is Bentonta, which is quite a big beach, so you could definitely find your own space, which is really nice after the crowded Hikkaduwa beach. After Bentonta, you could head to Negombo and either spend one night there before your flight out, or you could just head right to the airport. And just like that, you have traveled around a lot of Sri Lanka. Of course, there's still things to see and do over here and up here, but this is the most common route. I want to end this video by answering some questions I know I wondered about before heading to Sri Lanka. As far as transportation goes, public transportation is by far the most affordable way to get around, and you can pretty much get anywhere you want to go. However, the buses and trains do fill up, and sometimes you're not able to squeeze on. What we did in this situation was find another couple traveling to the same destination and split a taxi. You can also flag down a tuk-tuk. They're pretty much everywhere and they are reasonably priced, but you do have to barter. Now, if you want to splash the cash, there are also some taxi services at a much more expensive rate. If you ride a scooter, make sure to get your international license before your trip because there are so many different checkpoints. Sri Lanka is hot all year long, however there are two different monsoon seasons. The best time to visit the east and the south is from December to April. And the best time to visit the north and the east is from April to September. As a woman who has spent a lot of time abroad, I would always recommend being careful and respectful when traveling to places with different laws and different culture. With that said, Sri Lankan people are very welcoming. Expect people to spark up a conversation with you. You can easily ask a stranger for directions. When you travel Sri Lanka, you will definitely get a sense that you're welcome there. Like I said, the hospitality is on point. Big thank you to all the kind Sri Lankans I've met on my travels. If you're traveling to Sri Lanka, or know someone who is, or just curious about the place, check out my YouTube channel. I've made a whole series of travel guides. If this video helped you, let me know by showing some love. And of course, stick around by hitting that subscribe button. I have tons of new adventures planned and I cannot wait to share them with you.